Chad Stanley, co-founder of FreeLifeFood. In my previous videos, I gave a little bit of an introductory about our website and shared my personal story. Today I want to share with you more about my family. My whole family has food issues, actually. Another reason this website is so personal for us. My father has diabetes. He had it his whole life, but he didn't get his diagnosis until he was in his mid-40s. At the time of his diagnosis, his blood sugar was 1,000. To get his blood sugar back where it needed to be, he went through extreme medical issues that most people don't even think are possible. It was a very hard time for the whole family, and he is what they consider a brittle diabetic. It's type 1 because he's insulin dependent and has to do several shots in a day, but he's a brittle diabetic because he's more sensitive to things and his blood sugar can change on a whim. Our third youngest had a lot of stomach issues. He was born with a colon disease called Hirschsprung's, which means part of his colon was technically dead, but it just didn't move or allow things to pass through. Most often this issue isn't addressed until most kids are 4 or around there. Unfortunately, his was so severe that he blew out his intestines by his 3rd day of being alive. So he had to have an emergency surgery and was in and out of the hospital the first 9 months of his life. He's finally done with all that, but he has stomach issues, unfortunately, because of all that. Another thing we found out, trying to learn how to adjust with all the ins and outs of the hospital and dealing with his medical issues, was that he had a wheat allergy. It's pretty severe. When they did the test, it was an instantaneous reaction. The one that didn't react as heavily is that he has a dairy allergy. It's very slight, it's not as severe, but it did happen as well. So he has food issues. My mom has several allergies. My dad is also allergic to all nuts, not just tree nuts, but every kind of nut there is, whether it's on a tree or not. And my sister has what they call HAE. Basically, it makes your allergies worse if you have any, and there's a lot of random swelling. It's very dangerous because a lot of people who have it can have random swelling in their face, their lips, their tongue, their throat, their eyes. It's a very serious issue. It's just now becoming a more known thing and a more medically addressed issue. It's a pretty rare disease, but it's becoming more common. The interesting part about my whole family, that we all have these issues, is every one of us has been, in one sense or another, been diagnosed, on my side of the family, with some sort of hereditary stomach issue. I have celiac, my sister has HAE, my dad has colon cancer and some other colon issues that are supposed to be hereditary. My mom has a hereditary issue. My grandmother on my dad's side had a hereditary issue. And it was just strange. When I got my diagnosis, I remember before they did the upper and lower scope, I said, just please test for everything. You know, my dad has this, my mom has this, my sister has this, my grandma had this. You know, don't just check for one thing you're guessing on, but check for the whole thing. So, as I addressed in my story, they did cover everything. And I only have celiac, which is, needless to say, strange because all of them are hereditary issues, but needless to say, my whole family for a very long time has had food allergies and diseases that cause food issues, which is another reason this website is so close to home for us. We've been learning to deal with these different things for many years. Mine is the most recent with my son. We're the most recent to deal with in our own family, but I've been dealing with allergies and issues in our family for a long time, and people being sensitive to certain foods. So I wanted to share with you again another story, this time with my family in mind, that we all have these issues. So when we give testimonials, when we try foods, when we talk about stuff, we're not doctors. You should always consult a doctor. But when we give our personal experience or our personal opinion, it's not something we're guessing on, it's something we've lived through. So I hope you continue to follow, comment, share, like, and support us in this journey to make this website so amazing. And we'll see you next time.